Welcome, everybody, to the Critical Music Club number 75. Yes, it's the All Rockin' Roundtable, a chance for musicians, DJs, music writers, music lovers, and miscellaneous miscreants to meet and talk tunes. My name is Bo, and I'll be your host. Why do birds suddenly appear? Is it because they want to poke your eyes out? Or more a feather to a lesbian seagull? Today, we're discussing the Critic list, bird songs. And for our album discussion, it's come Sunday, and me, the good Lord, and the CMC critics will work it all out, as we all need someone to believe in us, even if the only thing working is a Coke machine. We're heading down because we're discussing the 2025 Americana Roots album, Downtrodden and Tongue-Tied Liars Lounge by Beijing via Indiana's own Eric Allen. I should say his name right by now. And to discuss that album, we will hear the voice from the man who tells the stories which lead to the songs, the album's artist, and joining him, the producer of that album's and multi-time guest for the CMC. Please welcome everybody, Eric Allen and Brad M. Seippel. Oh, Eric, you have such a simple name and I keep fucking it up. Can you change it to something more exotic or crazy? Maybe I'll stay focused on it.
Change it to something that's not the same name as the NFL Hall of Famer, because he always comes up in all the searches.
And that, yeah, well, that could be an issue, but it's a good performer's name. It's simple, 4 syllables. It's really good. And but I'm happy you're very casual about your name, right? You taking it easy?
It's the name, it's just a name.
Well, someone who
My
takes an
mama gave it
opposite
to me.
approach is our other man, Brad M. Seippel. Throat in, no uppercase letters, or you'll get your throat cut. Right, Brad?
Yeah, I keep it lowercase, but you can just call me Brad.
That's okay too.
S-I-E. Took me
Yes.
years to figure that out.
Well, yeah. So,
Yeah.
welcome back, Brad. I'm happy you're joining us again.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and talk about Eric's album and see some familiar faces, some new people as well.
I'm trying to think. We covered. You were here with Abby Shushu that we
hmm
covered, and we did one of your Afro albums, right? Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
we covered a vinyl that I put out called Ghost Lineage
That's it.
on New Noise. That must have been 2024, I think, something like that.
Is another one that I'm missing there?
No, I think that was it. I've jumped on on some other ones just to kind of
Yeah.
yeah, but those were the ones where it was actually an album that was my own music, but
Yeah.
also with some other people as well.
Well, I love that synergy. Sometimes people are the critics, some people are the artists. I think that creates a really good energy. And so, since this time you're on the artist side, I guess you're the producer and engineer. And Eric, he's the artist as well. Previously been a critic, but so you know what we're going to say now. I want you guys to meet the people who are the critics today. So, we're going to do our critic roundtable. So I'm going to go to everyone who has joined, and I'm going to ask you to please say the name, the city that you're at, and something recently you've been involved with in the world of music. I don't need your full catalog and production history. It could be something that you've performed in, it could be something you've worked on, it could be something as simple as a tune you heard in a movie that sparked some interest, or whatever you're listening to. No matter how big, no matter how small it is, as long as it's something musical and recent, it's all good. So let's start with, let's see who's here. Let's start with radio.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Radio. I am currently in Shenzhen, China. And recently, actually, just this morning, I came back from Xi'an. The on Friday, I interviewed the band Leviathan from Xi'an. They're like a metal band there, and yesterday we filmed their show. So it was a really cool experience and a fun time. And yeah, that's just something recent, and that's me. Thank you, guys.
You do that for TMS Live, right?
Exactly. TMS Live is a production company based out of Shanghai, and we interview and film live bands who are coming through on tour or just like friends of ours, indie players around the city.
Cool. And if you want, you can post some links to that to the YouTube or whatever. It's some really cool footage. I've been very happy. They've been very supportive of my stuff. Hey, let's go to Jan. Hello. Say hello. Can you say hello, baby? Yeah. Are you feeling
My
shy?
turn?
Yes. You're up, Jan. Say
Okay.
hello.
Sorry, I was thinking. Okay, my name is Yuan. I just arrived to Shanghai from my hometown, and tomorrow I will fly to Dominica. And yeah. Well, I'm free for nearly 10 years after I come back to China from Europe. It could be said I live beyond the world. Nearly 10 years. Yeah, so
Fantastic. What are
I'm
you listening to recently, or what are you doing with music recently?
after I learned the album of Eric, I'm very curious. I love the album, and I'm thinking, what appearance the songwriter had and can do this album. So I learned I studied the song one by one. It can be during the past several weeks. I was studying these songs. I like this.
You did a lot of work for it. There's a lot of prep work, Eric. You better be ready. Yuan's got you set. Sir, joining us for the CMC for the first time, Mr. Michael Bush.
How are you? Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. Most recently in music, I released that album right there. Michael Bush, books about masonry on all streaming services.
Fantastic. Post a link to it or whatever you'd like for that. It's all good. Let's go to the Dastardly V. Kevin.
Hello, good morning for me and good night to everybody else. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you are in chronologically.
What city are you in, and what's something recently with music?
Yeah, I'm hanging over here in Buffalo, New York. Musically lately, I have been watching vicariously the Juggle Ohio event that's going down in Columbus, Ohio, where the dinosaurs roam. I can't be there in person, so I'm wistfully living through the live feeds. But then privately, I've just been doing kind of deep dives into Tom Waits and Rammstein for some reason lately. That's been my peanut butter and jelly. Those two things together.
That's a very interesting combination. Interesting stuff there. Let's go to Emmer.
Yeah, my name is Emmer. I'm in Hangzhou, China, and recently I've been doing a lot of music with the choir. I sing in a local city choir, and most of the time they sing in Chinese, so it's a way for me to practice the language and to get to know a lot about the local culture.
Fantastic, and thank you for joining us, Emmer. I really appreciate it. Let's go now to the conductor of the Honky Tonk Freeway, the Motor City Ladman, Colonel Bus Crash, Grandmaster Dave Bojangles.
Good evening. I'm in Shanghai then. I just got here. I've been listening to Pentangle and Trees, British folk from some years ago, and I've just been really getting into that. And I thought maybe that ties in a little bit with the acoustic music we're listening to with Eric Allen. And true to my British stereotype, I've recorded a track called King Charles recently. So there you go, busy.
Was it very complimentary? Maybe like a march or something? You know,
it was a little bit complimentary, yes. Not the usual, derogatory.
No Sex Pistols stuff.
No, not that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's go to Darius next. Oh, you're muted, Darius. Fix that up, bro.
Hi everyone, I'm Darius. I'm in Shanghai. Today I just watched a movie It's a French movie about a French woman in her 50s. So in the last scene, the old woman with an old guy, they were playing guitar together. So I think that was a very nice scene, very warm and peaceful. I enjoyed that music.
What's the name of the movie?
Just 1 second.
You got a poster. Oh, look at that. We didn't even practice that, and you got it ready. Miguel. Cool. All right. Very cool. Thank you very much. I see Dave. He's got his mouth full. He's going to sit in and watch. I see Yelly, some other friends. It's all good. I do see Dana there. Dana, do you have your stuff ready? Can you turn on your camera if you're going to join us as a critic today? You got your tech stuff worked out? If not yet, that's perfectly fine. All right, but oh yeah, there he is. Seno, Yuen, say hello.
Hi, hi.
Dana, no. Well, it looks like he's frozen. Dana's a student from Mongolia studying at Duke Kunshan University. I think he's in Kunshan right now. I'll let him work on his tech stuff. I see a whole bunch of other people. I know Macio's. Oh, there you are. Dana, you're muted right now, though. Do you want to say hi? On the bottom, there's a square. It's got an X through it. Okay. You take your time and mess with it. I thank you for joining us, sir. And we'll get back with you in a bit. We got a big crowd. There's a lot of people joining us. That's really great. I really appreciate it. Spread out that YouTube link. Spread out all of that stuff. So there you go. Brad and Eric, now you've met our critics. And so now it's time for our album discussion. The album in question is Downtrodden and Long-Tongued Liar's Lounge by Eric Allen. Here's some quick facts about it. The album was released in 2025 and is Eric's third. A fourth album is scheduled to be released later this year. It's a totally solo album featuring just Eric Allen and his guitar. And Eric says a lot of the tracks are related to oppressed groups. What I'm going to do here is play a little bit of one of the tracks, and then let's talk to Eric and his producer, Brad, about it. I want to start, where do we want to start here? Let's start with track number 5, 5-Gallon Bucket.
They jump in the crowd, laughing when that muddy sludge pull one in. You take the 5-gallon bucket, you throw it away, hose it right down, the smell don't go away. You take a 5-gallon bucket and you throw it away.
All right, there's a little sample of it there. Eric, in that song you mentioned Muddy Waters, almost as a passing reference, but I think it's, it's also telling a little bit of a story there. Perhaps, can you talk a little bit about how you feel this album fits in the sort of history of country blues and what influenced you specifically related to this album?
Country blues is always, it's always seemed to be about uh, people who are kind of on that outside, on that oppressed, in the oppressed lane of the highway, it seems like, and I certainly grew up around that too, and I think that's probably where this emanates from, my interest in it. I mean, I always am interested in these kind of stories that are out there, the press groups. And, there's no shortage of it. So I think that's where it comes from. So I think it fits in. It fits in well. I don't know if it fits in with the modern country, let's say. And I think that's a lot of times why I put the word folk, hyphen folk with blues or country tag, because the more recent country and blues, to me, it's not really focusing too much on oppressed groups, except maybe one, my girl left me and I'm down here at Denny's or something. I mean, so it fits in a little more in a time before the acoustic works well with. So I guess that's where it comes from.
There's worse places to be left at than a Denny's. I mean, at least you can get a Grand Slam on your way out. You can mix it with.
I think wasn't there like a country song recently in the U.S. that was like #1 for a shitload of weeks, and it was about going to Denny's on Friday night or something.
I don't know. And look, I'm from Florida, Georgia line. This is a sore subject. We don't need to get into that. But Muddy Waters, would you say, is a big influence? Can you name some other people who you might?
Oh, it is a big influence, absolutely. Muddy Waters in the song is just referring to Mississippi River, but Muddy Waters himself is a huge influence. Lightning Hopkins, I think, one of my biggest influences coming from the blues side. Townes Van Zandt, coming from the countryside, is a huge influence for me. I've been listening to a lot of Townes lately.
You put him on your critic list, which we'll definitely be talking about that soon as well. Brad, you have such a wide array of musical interests. Like, you're producing African influenced beats. You're also doing field recordings. How did you connect with this material? Where does it sort of fit into your interest? How do you come about it?
Well, I mean, I like folk music and blues, lots of different styles. Growing up in Louisiana and Alabama, a lot of the people I played music with were making, singer-songwriter and blues and folk music, country adjacent stuff. So I never really played in bands like that myself or made that kind of music myself, but I was around it and appreciated it. And yeah, just to step back from not a musical creative perspective, but from an engineering perspective, it was really fun to work with like a different style of music. And Eric was really, open about letting me kind of experiment on how like we tracked and produced everything. So yeah, it was just, kind of a cool, different genre to work with. And so I really liked it.
That's exactly where we wanted to go. I wanted to go next to talk a little bit about the sound of this album, and the specific word is textures. So I'm going to play a little bit from track #1 here, and then I want to talk a little bit about the sort of space and almost physical presence of this album. Here is Crow Bout Sin.
Ready.
Well, now, one of these days gonna lay me down. You ain't gonna see me hanging around. You ain't gonna hear me crowing these songs about how so road help me along. One of these nights there'll be a space on the bill, so can me can try and make him feel that sailor's tongue that leaves me the green. You never heard of folks on the mojo bucket, never let the beat the devil in the house ring blue. One of the mornings when the sun hang low, she'll wheel me to the riverside. Hum my song as she bend down low, roll my body to the water below. Couple shots of that jailhouse hoop, made from the harvest of love and blood we'll reap. Here I come up over on the other side, one half high, one half fires burning around to the left and slip to the right till the figure of the maker come in the side. Hit me sitting on the porch, rocking real slow. Flames on one side, other side snow.
Yeah, so Eric, that's a really interesting song, and when you hear the song, you kind of notice two things. It's not, it doesn't feel like a live album. You know, there's not auxiliary sound, but we certainly hear the percussive effect of you hitting the guitar. You know, you hear the guitar strings. It's not just recorded straight into the desk there. Was that the sort of sound that you had in mind? Did you work on that together with Brad? This, you know, how did this vision of the sound come together?
Yeah, Brad always, we're always working on, you know, the sound. Brad's extremely patient with me, and but that sound, that percussive sound is, I mean, it's just something I've always done for a long, long time, and it really goes back to the original question you had about influences. Uh, Lightning Hopkins, when he was performing, he generally performed solo, so he would use a lot of different little techniques to get a percussive sound and a bass sound going all by himself because he was solo. And I learned a lot from Lightning, you know, just watching his videos. And I feel like it comes from there. I do there's a lot of hand muting. There's a lot of different little things that I'm doing to get a certain kind of sound, percussive sound. And like if you listen to the song Distortion toward the end, you're hearing high, almost like a xylophone sound in there. And that's the guitar, but it's a certain way that I'm playing it. And, you know, Brad really patient with me because I kept saying, Brad, I'm sure remembers, you know, on Distress, which is the second track, really going back and forth all the time. Like, man, we got to keep that sound in no matter what on the recording. Because when you get in the studio, you can lose things sometimes. And we got to keep it in. We got to keep it in. And we really put some time into making sure that high sound stayed in. So that percussion comes from way back.
Yeah, and just so I can explain to people here too, if you guys aren't aware, like when you hear the guitar playing, you're not just hearing just the sound from the strings, you're hearing Eric's hitting the guitar, his hand going up and down on the strings, which kind of creates a percussive effect. Can you talk about your approach to the engineering of it, Brad? Did you have a professional studio with it? How did you make it up in regards to that?
Yeah, so we recorded everything at my studio in Beijing, and this is the third and fourth albums I've done with Eric. So I kind of know what he's going to want down the road. So before start recording, I'm kind of looking ahead. So at the beginning, we would start with kind of getting the sound that we wanted and just checking it. So that entailed uh, setting the microphones, you know, a certain distance away from the guitar, using a combination of microphones so we could get more detail and like high end or low end to get those percussive sounds to really come out. And then we would review it. And once we had an idea of the tone that we wanted from the guitar, we would go and you would do a bunch of takes. And from those takes, kind of pick the best ones. So from the engineering perspective, it was like really like the creative part on my end was combining microphones together to give that texture that you described. And yeah, Eric was really supportive in letting me kind of be very experimental with how we recorded it.
Like, what do you mean by that?
So a lot of times with a guitar, you might use a single microphone to record it, or you just go directly into the computer from like a jack. But what I did is I would combine different configurations. So one that we did a lot was two microphones in like an XY pattern. This might be a little technical or nerdy, but so we get like a stereo sound, and then we would put a ribbon microphone, a different style of microphone below those, so we get a nice warm and kind of bassier tone, and then mix all that stuff together. So when you're hearing the album, you're actually hearing like uh, different ears on the guitar at different places, and then they're put together to create that sound.
Sometimes you might get, you know, it sounds too deep, too bassy, too muffled or something, and maybe Brad might adjust the mics in the mix. He might adjust the mics to bring up the mic that might bring out the high side more. And we do that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
When you listen to the album, at first glance, it might seem like it's just a very simply recorded album. But then, like I said, when you're hearing all of these different elements to it, I kind of picked up that there was a lot more going on with it, even if it's just coming from one person. Um, yeah, like Nate's asking details. I think we kind of addressed the details, but we might ask you some more about that later, Brad. Maybe we'll talk about
Sure.
all the different mics and stuff. But Eric, so I want to focus in on that word texture. I just posted the album cover image into our group chat here. It's a very interesting image. I have some questions in terms of how it relates to the material, but perhaps can you describe to me the album cover and who put it together or everything related to that?
Well, I guess at heart, I'm kind of a smoky bar blues type of personality, and it just made sense. The first song title was "Crow About Sin," and it kind of. I was thinking this time I wanted something different. I wanted to be drawn, hand drawn. So I had a friend of mine, James Thomas, draw this album cover, and we wanted it to be that way, kind of that bar type of scene. And then I put two crows out there because of the name of that song, Big Crow and Little Crow. And said, well, they got to be doing something. It needs to be dicey, right? It needs to be seedy a little bit. Like the one crow, he's trying to steal my lead on my bag, my cord, and the other one's, I'm holding the beer and all that. And but because the album has a lot to do with the oppressors and the oppressed, I decided to put two doors on the bar, and those words are the Arabic words for oppressor and oppressed. There's the two words that are on the doors bar. With the oppressed, of course, getting the smaller door. But yeah, it comes from that blues kind of background, and then trying to reflect the kind of the oppression theme. But I just really wanted it to stay simple this time, like just a drawing.
Interesting.
I like the way it came out.
Did you guys see that image that I just shared for that? Just testing that. Okay, you guys saw it. Cool. So one thing that I picked up from that is that it looks like it was hand drawn with like some cut and pasting involved, like paper pasting. Is that right?
Except for me, I'm not drawn. That's an actual picture that was taken. And that was partly for effect and partly because we were just having trouble drawing me.
Well, okay. So this was my interpretation, and you can just call my bullshit if it's completely wrong. Like I see the drawing, and there's the cut and paste element to it, and there's the texture of the strings and the percussive element of hitting the guitar, and just you have a very earthy voice. You're doing almost a stage whisper and a growl to it, and this might sound like a criticism, but it's a really sincere question here. I feel like, let me ask you this. Is there a physical copy of this album released?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Nope.
Is
No, I decided on this one that I wasn't going to do it, although I may still do it, but I just haven't.
okay. Like there's how relevant does the album become retro or vintage by the nature of these sort of textures involved with it in this sort of digital world? Let me like I imagine Muddy Waters like on a hardwood floor walking, and I'm imagining the textures of dirt and road and these sort of things. And in some ways, especially living in a city, living in a world with screens and metros, those textures aren't necessarily part of the world. So I say this with love that are these textures almost something from a forgotten world or a past world, or is it how do these textures kind of come together with your music for how we're living today?
I certainly hope that I'm glad you picking up on that. I certainly hope the textures are coming from a more vintage type of world. I mean, it's kind of what I do in general. It's the way I play my music and that what inspires me more. How it fits into today. I mean, I just I don't know. It doesn't fit in a lot of modern stuff, but I do believe that there is a space for people out there who want to hear stories, who want to hear things from the past. I've done a lot of songs from, the Civil War days. I've done songs on the last album that came from the Depression era, Great Depression. They want to hear the stories, want to hear the history, um, and not just what's being put out there right now in mainstream today. So I think it fits in that way. And I certainly hope other people can appreciate it.
Your cat is very interested in those things. I got one or two more
Yeah.
questions here, and let's play a little bit from Brother Hell, where I think you mentioned the Death Star. So we're going out in the future there. Here's track number 12 with Brother Hell. You mentioned some of the characters and looking at different areas of history. Do you think you're doing these from the perspective of empathy, or do they kind of reflect aspects of who you are?
I would think both. I think the first is aspects of who I am, and this probably leads into empathy. Uh, so yeah, I think that's both. I mean, where I grew up, it's a bit of it's not terribly oppressed, but I mean, it is oppressed in a lot of ways. And I think that made me much more empathetic to groups in the world, not just in the U.S., but all over the world who being oppressed.
Indiana. When I think Indiana is the home of the Ku Klux Klan, right? Isn't that where it kind of got started over there?
Yeah, well, it was pretty strong. I'm not sure if it's the home. I remember a city that they told me was the home, what's called Elwood, Indiana, which wasn't that far from where I grew up, maybe 20, 30 miles. A little tiny town. I never really was there much, but yeah, they told me that's where it started back in the days, So yeah, I guess I don't know if it's originated there, but it's definitely strong. Very
Well,
strong.
there's the two eras of the Ku Klux Klan. I think one of them definitely started there, but we don't need to get into the history books for that. Yeah, but you're reaching back into history. You mentioned the Death Star there, you know, um, what I want to ask is why do you reach out into the past for these characters in a way?
Let me ask you a question first.
Sure.
When you talking about the Death Star?
Isn't that mentioned? Do you mention that in one of the songs? Does anyone remember that? Maybe I misheard a lyric there for it. We'll forget
Maybe
that.
a different lyric.
Yeah, it's very possible. You have a very expressive vocal quality where you're going into a stage whisper and a growl. I think many people associate that today with a Tom Waits sort of thing, but if you listen to Blind Lemon, Blind Willie Johnson, there's different aspects of that as well. Like, did you have a specific
James Brown made a whole career out of it, man. Like, you couldn't understand anything he was saying.
Did you have a specific time and place for this album that you spoke from?
Well, oh, for the album. No, not really.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't like the last album, Prowl and Lobo. I did have a more of a historic time and place in my mind, and you can see it in the tracks. A lot of the tracks that I did. I would say this one is more current, or at least closer. But I didn't approach it with any sort of idea about time and place. But there's some that go back, like 5 Gallon Bucket is really something that was going on in the 1980s.
Okay, last question for me for now. We might come back to me, but we got a bunch of people who want to ask questions and comments, and I want to hear from people as well. This album came out technically last year. You've been rolling it out. What did you aim to get from releasing this album, and do you think you succeeded with it? And I'm going to ask both of you guys that.
My aim in this album is a couple, I guess. I mean, I want to draw some attention to some of these stories, like, for instance, Lakota, about the Lakota in South Dakota, the plight they've had there, which is largely unknown in the U.S. You know, that'd be one example. But I mean, I think overall, I would like to draw some attention to some of these things. Not that I think it's going to change the world or anything, but it's just good to draw that attention, I think. From a personal perspective, it's what I want to do, is try and write songs that might actually matter and tell a story. And 2, I really wanted to do a solo, and I mean solo album. Like, I hear people throwing this word solo around now, and they sing solo, but what they mean is they're playing with a different backing band or something, but doing songs that they're calling solo. I wanted it to be just solo, me and a guitar, and no looping, no, you know, overdubbing, anything like that. It's about not raw, because we're doing things in the studio, but as raw as you can get, I guess, and just emphasize the melodies on the guitar a lot, if I could. And Brother Hell, I think, does that quite a bit, giving it that feel and that, you know, emotion.
Brad, same question for you. And also, when does the Amapiano remix album of this come out?
Well, we don't have any plans for any piano edits of Eric Allen's music, but as far as a goal with this one, you know, I was kind of getting to understand the material as we were recording it. I got sent some demos, but I was getting, you know, the backstories for each song as we were recording. And one of my goals was like how to make this a very minimalistic approach in the post-production, like when we were actually going to go and mix it, because it was just acoustic and vocals. So one of my goals was to not go too crazy with, you know, how much we altered everything. In the past, when we had a lot of different elements like drums and bass and horns and strings, we were really doing a lot of editing to it. So my goal was to try to be like as simplistic as possible with it, because you can't really hide too much behind a guitar and vocals. There's not much to mask anything else. And I think by doing that, it created a little bit more breath and just air and dynamics into the music, which an album like this, which is mostly storytelling, you need that space. So from someone that wasn't doing the creative part of writing the music, my goal was more to like how to enhance and make that music shine a bit more.
I think it's something else that I think something else that is important here is that we recorded 25 songs. We were recording this album and the next album mixed together. we didn't record one album and then the next album. We recorded all the songs for both albums, just in whatever order, I wanted to do it. And so a lot of these kind of themes were evolving, as we went along. I was starting to see themes in the songs, and they then kind of determined what's going to go where, which album.
Cool. So the
Find a
next
lot
album
more
is ready.
country. It's ready. Yeah, I just haven't released it yet.
Very cool. Something to look forward to. Let's go to radio, sir.
Hello, Erica, Brad. I guess this question is kind of for both of you. I imagine like during the production process, it would have been very, I guess like mainly like the standard way to go about it is with production. You could have overproduced it, clicked it out or manipulated everything so that it would be perfect. And I would describe this album as like imperfect perfection, where it just like it gets all these little minute kind of like details where it almost feels like like someone singing to you by a campfire or like in a log cabin, and the production really brings out all of those the different sounds in the different areas. So first, Eric, I want to ask, did you record the guitar and sing at the same time?
They were separately. Guitar. I did.
Okay.
I think I tried it on one of them, with a different guitar, and it just wasn't happening. So we went ahead and used the same guitar I've always used in the studio, and did the vocals separate. I'm glad you got that campfire type of thing, and that's kind of what I'm going for. It's what I'm always going for. Very low on the effects, and pretty simplistic. Yeah, you can leave little imperfections in at times, and then there's some imperfections that we leave in simply because it's better than what the original was. I fucked something up, but I fucked it up in a way that, I like that. That happens quite a bit in the studio.
Yeah, like I said, it would have been really easy to overproduce something like this, especially like if you have to play to a click track and it kind of destroys the integrity of what you're kind of trying to achieve. I think. Would you say that that's true?
Trying to get me to play to a click track. Good luck. I don't like click tracks whatsoever. And a lot of that is just because of that. I don't want that. I don't want to have that feel of being something that was really pre-planned and everything's got to be exactly on time. If you listen to a lot of my songs, if you really listen, you might notice it speeds up a bit as it goes. Some of them do. And, and I'm fine with that. I think it's great. It'll add to the intensity. I think Robot Sim will do that toward the end. Just adding to that intensity. And I thought, and me and click tracks, we just don't live in the same world, man.
And if you guys aren't familiar, a click track is like a metronome that will basically set the BPM, and so people can record the parts over and over and overdub it, and it makes it easier to edit in that regard. So that's what a click track is.
Well, I think it's probably easier if you're doing like multiple instruments. It's better if you have a drummer, if you have these different instruments come in. Click track can be very helpful because it can keep everyone on time. But since you're doing this as a solo project, it doesn't actually matter. It's actually more adds more impact by actually just leaving it like open and free. So I think that's pretty
a lot
cool.
in bands. You'll find that a lot of drummers really like click tracks, and it's for that reason. I mean, they have their purpose, but I don't really like them too much.
Very cool. Let's go to Dave now.
Hello. Yeah. I really enjoyed your album, your record. I was wondering, like Brian mentioned earlier, your vocal manner is very sort of husky and rasping often. I was wondering, has that sort of evolved over the years? Like, I mean, when you started singing when you were younger, maybe it sort of changed, and is it something that
Good question. It's a good question because I have always been able to sing with that raspy type of tone. But I do remember people years ago talking about, oh, it's so smooth, which is it's not raspy, right? And so I did used to do it. I think like it's smooth, sweeter songs, and I think the evolution has, I wasn't always a blues guy, for one thing. The blues part of me came out in the last, I'd say, 15 years or so. And before that, I was singing more smooth and probably sweeter sounding. And I don't really do that much anymore. You might find a song here or there, but for the most part, I don't. So there has been an evolution. Yeah.
So there's a crooner album of Eric Allen around somewhere where you're
Yeah, right.
Choral version.
cool. Let's go to Kevin.
Hello, hello. Yes, you had just brought up too the kind of the tempo changes that happen in some of the songs where they start off a little bit slow and then all of a sudden pick up the speed. Kind of like you can feel an anxious thought building into racing thoughts. I heard that a lot in like Sigil of Baphomet. I heard that on how Sigil of Baphomet kind of starts off slow and then all of a sudden it starts picking up part of the way through. And I do think it's impressive. You were talking about like the recording of it, how to get kind of that drier, more present sound, a lot of work in engineering has to be done to make it sound that way because there's so much less to hide behind. Like it sounds like it could be just like one ribbon mic in the middle of the room. You're playing and singing at the same time, but a lot of work goes into making that sound, as clean as possible. But I kind of want to talk about some of the subject matter on it is very, very local. It's very kind of, riding the rails of kind of like a hobo album of telling the stories of the towns you go through as you go through them. So specifically on 5 Gallon Bucket, when you're talking about like the sugar ditch, you're, living from somewhere where you would call like South Africa, Mississippi. And I was just kind of wondering like something like that, or like 12th Street Bridge, where you're talking about it's a very like local focused thing. Like how many of these stories from local towns are like ones that towns you've traveled through and picked up those stories along the way, or what inspired some of these kind of more like locally focused, like these very kind of telling the tales of these various places.
And before you answer that, let's listen to a little bit of 12th Street Bridge, which is track number 8 from Downtrodden and Long Tongue Liar's Lounge.
Sit in our bed of 12th Street Bridge, let the do the time, roll up above, boy can make money, picking that corn if I don't mind the mud, and I don't mind the bug. Concrete land, give you just enough room. Sit there and think till you die. I'll go storm the boot out of concrete bank to shallow ground water. But the fish don't swim. It's the cold 45 years long. Yeah. Tall boy.
There you go, Eric. Do you want to address some of the story elements?
Yeah. 12th Street Bridge. Now that one is straight out of my hometown. We used to go down instead on the bridge and hide from parents and the police and get drunk and stuff. Get some sort of message here. I'm gonna have to click this. It's in Chinese. I don't know what it says.
Okay.
Darkening my screen. So in other words, if you lose me, I'll be back. I hope this doesn't do anything bad. I'll let it go a second. Yeah, 12th Street Bridge is from my childhood, well, teenage years. And, you know, we'd be drinking down there and somebody knocked the beer in the water and go chasing it down the bank and then fall in the water and stuff like that. A lot of the other ones, let me see what happened to. A lot of the other ones I have been to those places. Now, I wasn't necessarily in the midst of things, but I've been there. And some of those things affected me. There we go.
Well, there he goes. That's not him. Well.
He
Well, I
probably
had,
ran out of
we
battery.
lose him.
I feel like it was a plug-in thing. He's probably running out of battery.
Oh,
My
well,
follow-up question was going to be, what kind of Mad Dog 2020 do you think a Cisco Snort and Wino drinks? I was going to guess blue raspberry, but
Brad, you're a Louisiana man. What do you think? What do you think?
We would probably just say the color, so red or blue.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
a lot like
yeah.
Fagoat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what Eric, maybe I can say what I kind of thought about those localized themes in the songs. There's a lot of things that I was learning as it was going. He'd mentioned something like the Sugar Ditch or 12th Street Bridge, and I'd be really curious about, you know, what that would mean. And so I'd get a little story, usually on the first day of recording of that song. So it was cool to, you know, kind of get this collection of stories, if you will. Like the album is, in a way, a collection of stories.
Sure. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of different things we could talk about, but Michael Bush, you want to ask a question about the production? You should unmute yourself, though.
No, I refuse. Okay, so I was listening to the album. I took a lot of notes because I'm a nerd and I'm a musician, so I took copious notes as I was listening to it. So some of the things I thought about sound was like, okay, so it leans really heavily into like a dirty, sour note, kind of imperfect texture kind of thing. And I was wondering how intentional it was between polish and grit. Like, where do you draw the line on what to clean and what to leave? Now, I know we addressed that a little bit earlier, but I mean, from your perspective, when you're listening to it, how do you draw that line and say, I'm going to leave this specific thing and highlight it and bring it up? And like for the story itself, like, because to me, there are multiple characters here. It doesn't feel like one person. It feels like multiple characters throughout this story. And so for each one, and they were talking about locations, but you know, I'm more of a character-driven person. So instead of location, I think character. And so for each character, how do you determine like what is more pure and what is more gritty?
Oh, that's a good question. So, as far as like that gritty sound, I try to capture like as much information from the instrument so that later when you go to edit it, you can take away or blend or add things. So with stuff that I wanted to seem like really bright and pristine, like really shining, we would use like a stereo pair of Telefunken microphones that would get like the brighter side, the cleaner side of the guitar. And then to get like a warmer or duller sound, like sometimes that could be a little dirtier, we'd use a ribbon microphone.
Right.
So like combining different microphones, also different preamps, which is kind of like, if you don't know what a preamp it is, kind of like a middle piece of equipment before the microphone and the computer that can color the sound. So Eric, I knew he was going to be very particular about the sounds he wanted on songs. So I like to have a lot of options while recording, so that when you go into editing, you can choose what tone is best for the feeling of the song.
Okay. So each track, like I said, felt like it was in a different world, you know? But like I felt circus, saloon, swamp, and I felt a lullaby. But it all holds together, right? Because it's like that one story. But what was your anchor, like for the varied styles in your vision when you were putting this together? What was your vision? Was it like a traveling guy? Was it like, what was your thing that you thought in your head?
Me or Brett?
Oh shit, you're back. Hey man.
Yeah.
The funny thing, this battery was on 100 when we started, and now it's dead, it seems like. So I plugged it in.
Yeah, why don't you address that, Eric?
The it's kind of funny because a lot of the stuff that's being said here, the traveling around, the stories of the past are actually things that really were said a lot about the second album, Prowl and Lobo. So I'm kind of happy that people are saying it about this about this album, because it wasn't as front and center in my mind, this idea of different stories from different eras and kind of the traveling, road lizard, plug. It wasn't in my mind as much. So it's kind of cool to hear people saying it, because it was a part of the second album a lot more. So no, I wasn't thinking that way. I was more just thinking about just trying to get stories out there of places like Tunica, Mississippi, and the Park Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, and the Black Blood, which is about the Roma gypsy culture and how it's been kind of held down. Just kind of putting stories out there, and then my own things that were more of my own experience, like a 12th Street Bridge or Cut and Roll Sweet Blues.
Very cool.
I do have one question for him now that he's back. That's okay.
Go for it. Go.
Cool. I felt like there was like a lot of regret and warning in there when you were telling your stories, and so I was just like, what were you hoping we would learn from that? Like you were warning us about something.
Well, there's always a lot of that in my songs, I think, because I don't know if it's regret as much as it is reflection. Just reflecting. I do a lot of reflecting on my past, and even others in their past, because you can learn from that too. So it definitely will run through that album, and probably all my albums I'll ever do, probably. As far as what people learn from it, I mean, people will learn, they will take what they want to take from, of course, any piece of art. So I'm not really trying to say I want you to learn anything from an album. It's more about I want people to think or be aware of things, or just reflect more about things. Brother Hell, really the core of Brother Hell is that if you go through a lot of shit in your life and how it affects you, because in the end everybody will have the same fate, as it says. So how does it affect you while you're still, breathing and walking on this earth? And for me personally, it has made me worry less about things. Like I'm not bothered by a whole lot. Of course, I'm a human being. I get bothered by some things, but it really helps you to not worry about little things. And that's really the message of Brother Hell. If somebody takes that message, then that's great. If they take a different message, then that's just what different people take different messages,
Very cool. Very nice question, Mike. So we need to. We only have a couple of minutes left, but I want to get to some of the people who haven't got their chance to put their 2 cents in, and I especially want to go to Yuen next here. You took a lot of notes. You had a lot of questions or comments. Yuen, here's your chance. What do you want to ask Eric or Eric and Brad?
I was thinking, many things. But now I think I would like to know only you two to produce this album. So and also about the content and so many, I think many stories, many experience. So a little bit heavy and very sad, no? When you two do this, it's like many parts many paths from your life and come back again, and so very heavy, yeah.
Does this affect your guys' psyche a lot when you're working on this material, when you're getting into these characters, as Mike would say? It
would help me. I mean, just getting it out would help me. And I know people will a lot of times associate it with sadness, and of course there is. It's oppression, but there's a happiness in it too, to get it out there and make people aware, and maybe they can think about things a little. You know, for me, there's both. It doesn't really, it'll get me down a lot more if I don't do anything with it. You know.
You're exercising your demons a bit there. Very
Yeah.
cool, Yuen. Darius,
Thank
you know, did you identify with this material a lot? You know, in some ways, what's interesting about blues music is that it's very earthy. There's lots of very human tales, but it can be very exotic as well with characters with names like Howlin' Wolf and stuff like that. How did you kind of relate to the material on the album, if at all?
Yeah, I really enjoy the music. So when I listen to the music, it reminds me of those stories in Europe in medieval times. That's my feeling. Because I watch some movie or play the video games in that period of time, I feel like the vocal, it reminds me of someone, maybe like a blacksmith, like a very experienced swordsman, something. And the music sounds like, I mean, like in that time. So I don't know if when they make the music, they draw some inspiration from that kind of period of time, any stories in medieval time.
Eric, are you a
Yeah,
Beijing Yankee and King Arthur's Court?
I haven't drawn from that period yet. I, you know, I get out this a lot about China. You know, have you drawn from in Chinese? And I have not actually. But I would never say never. Things change all the time, and the way you develop, and
Mhm.
so you think can happen. One thing I'll say about the blues, I mean, you know, a sad that to me, one of the keys on any kind of music is if people walk into the place and they just walk in with the person they're with, and they're not really talking to anybody, and then they watch the show, and they walk out and they're actually talking to other people, and so people are starting to connect more and talk to each other when they walk out, people they don't know. That's a successful song, whether it's sad, happy, or whatever. That's the key. And I always feel a blues is a much more earthy, down to earth type of thing, and does have that effect a lot of times on people. And that's kind of what I would like to have, that kind of effect.
Very cool. And Michael Bush is saying he heard Older Europe too. He heard some things, and it's evocative energies and stories and people. Emma, really quick, do you have a comment or a question, a favorite track you want to just mention briefly?
Yeah, no, I wanna get back to a little bit of the idea of this campfire setting. What we're doing right now is sharing all of these ideas about the music that we're listening, and I think that's really, really powerful. Although at the same time, I think that many times these songs to me seem like a mental reflection, something that somebody could be thinking about constantly, and it's kind of like a trance like moment. And I was wondering what would perhaps be the best way of communicating these stories if they were to go beyond the song, if they were to go perhaps into a different kind of media, perhaps like multimedia or a video game or a movie. What kind of pathways would you visualize for these pieces?
Oh, that's a tough question there, man. I haven't thought too much about it. Maybe Brad can think about that too, because he knows more about this than I do. But I would think some of the songs. I've always been told that a lot of the songs are good for movie tracks. People like to say that, um, and some of them I agree with. But like, a cut and roll sweeping blues is something that's active. Like if you were to put it in a different media, that's an active thing. This is a guy on the street, homeless, and it's a guy I knew in LA, on the streets, very active. So in some sort of multimedia thing, that would need to be um, something quite active, I think. Whereas a lot of these other songs, I don't get that feeling from like Lakota. I get an outdoorsy type of feeling from Lakota. So you'd need something a little more, I don't know, field recordings kind of things, those kind of sounds out there. But it's a really good question. That's something I need to think about.
Very cool, Emma. Very nice. Maceo and Dana, I kind of see you guys. If you guys have something really quick, we can. Otherwise, it's okay because both Eric and Brad are going to be sticking around for the critic list, and we'll have a chance to bring them in. Anyone else who hasn't had a chance to comment yet wants to say something real quick? Here's your chance. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's cut it up there, chop it up there, end it there. Thank you
I
very
wanted to
much.
say I like your
Maceo, go
Doraemon
for it.
curtains.
What'd you say,
I
Maceo?
I just want to say I like his Doraemon curtains. They're cool.
Doraemon the cat?
Yeah, I like them. I see them in the back. They're cool.
Yeah. It's a very famous cat, I guess, in Japan and China.
Yeah.
He's all around this place, actually.
Yeah,
I was thinking
see
somebody
people.
might notice it, but then I was
Yeah,
thinking,
I
no,
was
they're not
wondering. I see people with it on the car too. You know, they got a Doraemon wrap on the car. I think it's cool.
That's cool, man.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Maceo is joining us from the depths of the earth right
Oh,
now.
I'm
He's
getting a massage, yo.
okay. Well,
See?
I hope that's
Y'all can see.
okay. Okay. Well, I think that's a good call to end it there. Thank you very much to Brad and Eric.
Did not tell you to love it. That's all of that.
We appreciate it, and you should check out Brad's stuff. You'll have a chance to comment more. And Eric, and like I said, they're sticking around for our critic list. So let me introduce that to you guys. Oh, what's that?
Hey, it was just one thing. I wanted to thank the person who was, and I'm not sure the name, but the person who was writing down a lot of the lyrics and translating them into Chinese, and even saw one line of Spanish. I'm not sure who that was, but
that was Yan, right? Yuan, you took
Yeah.
that note, right? Yeah, and you missed that Michael Bush also took a lot of notes. There's book reports, there's citations and cross citations about this album. It's gonna go into the library section.
thank you all you guys for listening to the album and you know, taking an interest.
Very cool. So we got to keep it moving. Our critic list as bird songs. And as always, there's no wrong answers. It's open to interpretations. So, but I'm going to open this up to everyone really quick. You can just yell it out. When I said bird songs, what was your first impression that you thought of? Yell it out. What did you think?
Where Eagles There.
Where Eagles Dare is my pick me song this week.
Mike Bush had Where Eagles Dare, Misfits. Anyone else quick?
I mean, I think the obvious ones, you know, I for sure didn't want to put them on the list. Like I didn't want to put like Blackbird or Freebird or, you know, Three Little Birds. You know, I think those are the ones that are like.
He's too cool for that. He's just too cool for that. That obvious.
Yeah, too obvious, I think.
There was no songs from the Birds. David Crosby got fucked. Roger McGowan, fuck him. And anyone, did anyone here listen to the playlist on Spotify or QQ and anything pop out to them as something especially interesting or exciting? Anyone?
I loved that someone else chose They Might Be Giants.
There you go. Very cool. Yeah, Birdhouse of the Soul. Anyone else? Check it out. Anyone? Quick impressions?
I only saw the Spotify link, but I don't have Spotify, so I didn't get to like cruise this.
Well, some people like to listen to it afterwards. There is a QQ playlist as well. I encourage you guys to check it out beforehand. Some people like to check it out after. It's all good. Let's say this. So there's no winners or losers, but it's fun to keep track of what artists or songs appear on the list. So I compile it. We compile the amount of times an artist or song appears, and also the points, with the number one ranking getting 5 points, a second place ranking getting 4 points, and on. The artists that appeared twice on the Critic list for bird songs is Bob Marley and the Wailers, much to the chagrin of Ray Radio. The Rivingtons, good job, Brad. And They Might Be Giants, very cool. The artist with the most points with 7 is Bob Marley and the Wailers. And in terms of song appearances, there's 3 songs that appear twice: The Bird's the Word, Birdhouse in Your Soul from They Might Be Giants, and Three Little Birds from Bob Marley and the Wailers. And the song with the most points is The Bird's the Word, originally by the Rivingtons, but also covered famously by the Trashmen and the Ramones, who didn't get coverage share. And with 7 points, we have Three Little Birds. So I'm going to go to our critics here. I'm going to read off your song list from 5 to 1. And please talk a minute and a half or so, maybe 2 minutes at most, about your critic list. You can focus on each of the songs, or if you just want to highlight one of the songs, probably your number 1, talk a little bit about why it made your list and why it's special to you. And then I'm going to play some of that song. I'm going to assume it's your number 1 song, but I have all the songs ready. So if you want me to play a little bit of a different song, that is A-okay. We can certainly do that as well. Let's go with our 2 guests here first. Let's go with Brad. You're number 5. This was an excellent find. I completely forgot about this song. I want to give you compliments. There you go. You went with Engelbert Humperdinck from the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack. I think that's the film, right? With Lesbian Seagull. Fantastic. Your number 4 took a hard left turn with Project Pat featuring Le Chat and 3-6 Mafia with Chickenhead. Your number 3, an excellent choice. Very keen, smart, wise man with the Rivingtons. The Bird's the Word. Your number 2, another hard left with Big Bird and Ruthie singing Easy Going Day from, of course, Sesame Street. And your number 1, boy, when the bass drops on this heavy and hard track, it blows you away. It's We Are Forests with Porta. I guess you would describe that song as a field recording sort of tune, right?
That's correct. It's an ambient song with field recordings, and that was like literal bird sounds in the song, so that's why it got put at number 1.
So describe your list. Do you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that one? Anything else?
so Lesbian Seagull was always is such an oddball song on that Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack, and like I still don't really even know why it's called that, but it's just you can't forget this name. And I really like the Southern rap from the US in the 90s and 2000s. 3-6 Mafia is one of my favorite of that time period, and the song Chickenhead is like it's stuck in your brain. The Bird's the Word it's a classic. You've heard it, even if you didn't grow up listening to that kind of music, you would have heard it, and like even Family Guy would have referenced it. The biggest bird, the earliest bird I ever saw on TV was Big Bird from Sesame Street. So that movie, Follow That Bird, was like the first Sesame Street movie I ever saw. So that had to go in there. And yeah, that's my list.
Well, fantastic. Nice insight. I appreciate that. You guys can comment in the section there. If you have any questions or comments, we can go to those as well. But I'm going to play your number 1 song, We Are Fortis Porta, and then we're going to go straight to Eric Allen. Thank you very much, Brad. There you go. A little bit of that. I'll ask this to Eric or Brad, either one of you. I was thinking, for if you guys aren't familiar, Brad does a lot of field recordings in interesting locations. People keep mentioning that I talked about textures, but also that it feels like it's a campfire sort of recording. Would you consider doing an album by Eric Allen or similar around a campfire and recording it like that?
Yeah, it's really up to Eric, but I would love to do some location recording with Eric. We've talked about going to like tunnels or in parks and having him just record in the environment. But in the end, that would be something up to Eric if he was willing to do it.
Yeah, it'd be cool. We talked about someplace in Chongping last time. I remember talking about. Yeah.
Very cool. Let's get to your list and a couple of things to talk about. Your number 5, Willie Nelson, Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground. Love Willie. Love that he's still out there. Your number 4, my buddy Matt in Chengdu, who joins a lot of these. We both love Al Jolson. This isn't typically my favorite, but re-listening to it was a great reminder. One of his classic songs, Red, Red Robin, when he goes bobbing along. Your number 3, you mentioned earlier, Townes Van Zandt with Cuckoo. I'm most familiar with the Big Brother and the Holding Company version featuring Janis Joplin on vocals. I'm interested which you prefer as well. Your number 2, James O. Thompson with Bluebird. And your number 1, you did the very controversial pick of choosing one of your own songs for number 1, but there you go. You're welcome to it. It's Eric Allen with Big Old Bird. Tell me about your list.
I chose mine on the last time I was doing the critics list. I also chose my song number 1. I don't know. I mean, what the hell? And also, like, these ranked lists for me, I always find them a little difficult. I don't pay too much attention, but if you ask me a different day, you might get different songs. But the Willie Nelson, Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground, just a beautiful song. And Willie Nelson's just a great songwriter, and unbelievably, he's still touring, I believe, at 92 years old. So I think Willie should be in there. The Jolson, I really wanted to go way back, and the Jolson song was from 1926. So it's a 100-year anniversary on Red Red Robin. And this is a song you still hear, and you can hear, even in cartoons, you can hear this song. The town song, Cuckoo, I may actually want you to play that one, Bo. I just love that song. And Townes is probably my favorite artist, my favorite songwriter. If you ask me about favorites, that's also hard to get me pinned down, but Townes is really up there and just a great songwriter, very inspirational for me. At number 2, James O. Thomas and Bluebird, just a lovely, lovely song. James is a guy that I know here in Beijing. He plays bass with me and my band for years, and so I'm getting him in there the same way I put mine in, I guess. But it is a very beautiful song, Bluebird. And then Big Old Bird, I think Big Old Bird probably is my favorite song off of Downtrodden. It's dark. It's basically 4 different storylines going on. It's long. It's slow. It's not commercial whatsoever, although one radio station has been playing it somehow. I don't know how.
Interesting.
7.5 minutes long, So I love Big Old Bird. But I would think a lot of these people, a lot of the folks here you guys have heard Big Old Bird from listening to the album. So maybe it's better if you could play Cuckoo by Townes, and hopefully you can get that second verse in, because the second verse, just love the lyrics on the second verse of that song.
What I'll do is I'll skip a little ahead, so we'll have a chance to do that. And just quickly, are you familiar with the Big Brother and the Holding Company version of this tune?
Yeah, and I like it, but I always like Townes better, honestly, in just about everything. But yeah, and Janis Joplin, always good. So yeah, I like it, but I still go with Townes. Townes just fits me better.
Cool. We'll play Townes Van Zandt Cuckoo. And Brad and Eric, if you guys were our guests, if you guys have to sign out after this, I completely understand it. It's all good. And then we are going to go to, if he's around, if he's got his stuff fixed, Dana. We'll see. If not, well, we'll fly around. It is a bird list. Towns Van Zandt, Cuckoo.
Well, there's silver and there's gold. Well, for working, I'm too lazy. And for begging, that's too low. Train robbing, that's too dangerous. So to gambling, did I go? Well, I gamble out in England, and I gamble down in Spain. And it never brought me nothing. Still just feel good in this pain.
There you go. And if you want to hear the rest of the song, check out the QQ playlist or the Spotify playlist. If you need the link, well, I'll post it there in real soon. Darius, he looks like he's out. Dana, we're not sure. So let's go to. Oh, Darius, you with us, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is. Okay, Darius, let's go with you here. You're number 5. You chose Chinese songs, which is fantastic. We also have some Mongolian songs. There's some Japanese songs on the list. I love seeing the diversity for it. Your number 5 is 43 Baojia Street, Little Bird. Your number 4, Li Ronghao, Sparrow. Your number 3, Zhou Chuan, I Am a Little Bird. Your number 2, Tan Weiwei with 100 Birds Returning to the Next. And your number 1 is China National Traditional Orchestra with 100 Birds Paying Homage to the Phoenix. Tell me about your list.
Okay. I talked about the first song, the 100 Birds paying tribute. It's a very famous one. It's probably the most famous Chinese song with sonata, because they use sonata to mimic a lot of birds singing. So it used the word 100, but it doesn't mean necessary 100. It's just like it just means a lot of birds. So it's a very famous one. Another song I want to talk about is the I'm a Little Bird. The singer is called Zhao Chuan. He's also famous in China. He has another song called I Am Ugly, but I'm Very Gentle. So you can tell that he's not a very good-looking singer. And this song, it shares something similar. He says he's a little bird. He's not very optimistic. He wants to fly, but he can't fly high. So he's very humble, and he's trying hard to find happiness. So, and the other two sounds, the sparrow, the little bird, they are both like metaphors. The singer used the birds as a metaphor for himself to express their emotions. So it's very personal feeling related. The last song, it's more epic. Yeah, it's also a very famous Chinese singer. It's not.
You seem like you want to comment on this. Do you have something you want to say here, or are you're just very interested? Yuan? Oh.
Yeah. Some problem on my internet is not so good here.
Okay. Well, if you can make a comment there. But cool. Do you have anything else you want to add, Darius?
Oh yeah, that's all.
Well, fantastic. I'm going to play your number 1 here. Very interesting stuff. The China National Traditional Orchestra with 100 Birds Paying Homage to the Phoenix. And then I guess we're going to get to Dave next. Here it is. Thank you very much. Very cool. Thank you very much for that. And before we get to Dave here, I'll mention getting a comment that Rob wants me to mention that his song that he wanted on here is "The Birds Wasn't Born to Follow" from Easy Rider. No, Dave, no Easy Rider from you, Dave?
I like that track. The track, yes, is a good choice.
All right.
Easy Rider.
You're number 5, Damien Gerardo, Wyoming Birds. You're number 4, Fleet Foxes, Meadowlark. Not my favorite, but that's good. I really like this next one. It's a Beautiful Day, Whitebird. Discovered that one, really enjoyed it. You're number 2, Jefferson Airplane, Ice Cream Phoenix, and you're number 1. It's almost like a sequel to Big Yellow Taxi with Joni Mitchell, A Song to a Seagull. Tell me about your list, Dave.
Yeah, well, I was looking at songs that had a similar feel to the featured album, maybe in that it's just like an acoustic guitar and singing, you know. And I think there's quite a few songs like that with about birds. And so that's my top 5. Damien Gerardo is somebody I recently discovered out of Seattle. He's great. A lot of acoustic stuff from him. But the top 2, Jefferson Airplane and Joni Mitchell, firm favourites. And Joni Mitchell just gets it, I think, because it's just her. She's very young in this record. I think it's the first one she recorded. And it's just her with a guitar. I don't know how it was quite recorded. And her beautiful voice, just soaring like a seagull. And I think this song, whether it's about birds or anything, I think it's one of those beautiful songs I've ever heard. I think she's absolutely perfect in this. And she's very young. And to connect with the birds, I think it was produced by David Crosby. So there you go.
Excellent point. Yeah, the first album was produced by David Crosby. That's great.
Oh.
So there you go. Sounds real good. Song to a Seagull by Joni Mitchell. Thank you very much, Dave. And then we're going to get to Emmer.
Fly, silly seabird, no dreams can possess you. No voices can blame you for song of your wings. My gentle relations have names they must call me for loving the freedom of all flying things. My dreams with the seagulls fly out of reach, out of I came to the city and lived like old Crusoe on an island of noise in a cobblestone sea, and the beaches.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Dave. Emmer. There you are. I see you. You're number
All right.
5, the popular They Might Be Giants with Birdhouse in Your Soul. You're number 4, Dave Matthews Band, the Dave Matthews Band, Black and Bluebird. Like, I'm not typically a Dave Matthews fan. I saw him. He's just huge in my college town. But yeah, this wasn't so bad. It was all right. You're number 3, Bob Marley and the Wailers with Three Little Birds. You're number 2. This one was a little tougher. With Soulja Boy, Birdwalk, and you're number 1, a cover of the Steve Miller Band from the Space Jam soundtrack, which is something that we've been talking a little bit about in the group chat of all things. It's Seal with Fly Like an Eagle. Tell me about your list.
Yeah, man. So I was coming up with ideas for this playlist, and I was like, man, there's a bunch of songs that I would like to talk about, but at the same time, I'm like, the genres could be like a little bit like everywhere. Sometimes might listen to stuff that I think might be great for some other sessions, but maybe not for this one, even though it has, connection with the topic. So I ended up staying with something perhaps a little bit more modern and proximal to everybody's ears. I thought, like, I'm from Mexico. I would like to bring some of the music from my country. I could bring some of the music of the region where I live in right now. I could bring some of the music that I've been performing recently. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm not sure exactly what the audience will be like, what the rest of the playlist might be like. So let's just keep it somewhat easy. I even thought of making like two different playlists. One, following a specific genre or topic or approach, and then another one. I ended up doing only one, but it's fascinating. For number 5, though, these songs have more of a personal connection with different moments of my life. But number 5, for example, is something that was a little bit surprising to me in terms of like the instruments, the instruments and the timbre that you would hear in the music. I first heard this song when I was doing an exchange program abroad, and I was like, who's playing the organ like this? Like, I was just not expecting to hear an organ playing in something that was, outside of a church, and that was kind of an impression for me. Just making use of this instrument in perhaps a setting different than the one that I would have, expected it. And so the song stuck with me for quite a while. I really enjoy it. I like the message in the song. I think it's a very sincere and cheerful and supportive text, and so that's also great to hear. For number 4, what did I have for number 4? I'm sorry, let me check the list again. Number 4, oh yeah, Dave Matthews Band. I've never seen Dave Matthews Band live. Certainly, there was a period of time in my life in which my entire family would be listening to Dave Matthews Band for hours and hours and hours. We'd watch the videos and like we would memorize all the lyrics and stuff. And so I thought maybe that'll be a good point of connection right there. I hope I can get to see him a little bit, under a different light. But for me, it's music that is very down to earth, very like the pass of time in a very personal matter. I think for example of ants marching, and I'm like, man, I don't know. There's something about the perspective of his songs and his lyrics that I'm like, this feels so relatable. So I thought that'll be great to include there. Love the song as well. Number 3, what did I put in number 3? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting.
Three Little
I'm mixing
Birds.
them up right now. Oh yeah. So I sing in choirs, and another way of. Oh, sorry. And about Dave Matthews Band, what I was talking about is like all this like personal connection to the image of birds, the symbolism of birds as to something that could be out of reach, or something that you can embody, or something that promises a change. And so, for example, in the first one that I was talking about, it's more about this companionship. It's still an external agent that comes to you and provides some support, whereas for Dave Matthews Band, it's more a little bit more about transformation. What is to come? What do we all share? What are the common struggle? What are the common struggles for everybody? And so, Three Little Birds, it's more about.
Skip to your number 1, Seal,
Oh.
Fly Like an Eagle.
All right, Fly Like an Eagle. Man, I love that movie, Space Jam. I love that there's like these smoky vocals, like very soothing and soaring melodies, or like smooth and just like uplifting. So I think I have yet to discover a voice or a song or an artist in more recent music that really brings a little bit of like connection to the past, yet a promising future. And I just like how his lyrics try to make the world a better place. So a very inspiring song.
Well, and just it's not his lyrics, right? It's originally a song by the Steve Miller Band, but I kind of like this sort of funkier cover as well. And well, let's play it right now. Thank you very much, Emmer, for your first Critic list. It's Seal, Fly Like an Eagle. Like I like the idea of Seal singing that song and for it being a funkier version, but the original is just so well produced. Like it's just from that era of just kind of perfect production. I'm getting a couple nods from Brad and others. Like so, yeah, but both are pretty cool. Both are good, but yeah. And Emmer is continuing in the topic, and he's got lots to say about it. That's very cool too, since he often sings with choirs. The message from Three Little Birds, and how people arrive to it when they need to hear the message. Yeah, I completely dig it. We could talk a lot about this. There's a lot to talk about just in terms of whether you should pick songs that people know or for they to discover. There's a lot of different philosophical things. Maybe you'll talk about it more in your next critic list too. The Dastardly V, Kevin, which very much interests Grandma Nipsey, Julia's cat. She's very interested in this. Your number 5, Ben Folds, doesn't even need the 5. It's still fighting it. Your number 4, a great song. I love the music video. Do you know your chicken, Chibo?
I'd like to think so.
Good. Chibo Mato, Know Your Chicken, kind of a group in the sort of Beastie Boys camp era things. Your number 3, the Insane Clown Posse with the Loons, one of their classic tunes, I would say.
Yeah.
Your number 2, Auntie Boy, Like a Bird. Okay. Your number 1 is ICP and Twisted Together with Dark Lotus, The Crows. I had never heard this song, but I was really impressed by it. I thought it was pretty interesting. I haven't really dug into Dark Lotus, but tell me about your list there.
Well, first of all, growing up, I always thought it was Fly Like an Eagle Through the Sea, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. It was very recently in my life that I realized it was To the Sea. So anyway, but yeah, the Ben Folds song, that's just a cry song for me, especially now that I've had a kid. That's what it's about. But I kind of want to jump right to the ICP songs and the Dark Lotus song, because more juggalos need to get into the blues, because a lot of it's storytelling music. It's just all these songs from different characters' points of view. Rust Belt, Downtrodden, songs about scrubs and those who are struggling through life. Like, I just wanted to look at some of these other lyrics from what we just listened to. This is from Big Bird. Just send my poison bones down the road. Worms down here gonna need my company anyway. That's what juggalos call the wicked shit. I mean, that's the blues. So here, with these two songs, the Loons and the Dark Lotus tune, they're both kind of these storytelling songs that delve into ICP's and Psychopathic's dark carnival mythology. So the Loons being about somebody who lives in a Rust Belt town, gets a little bit more political than people would think maybe if you don't listen to what ICP gets about. Just like living in the Rust Belt has pushed this person to the extreme. And unlike on the album that we listened to where somebody says, well, I could kill this guy, but I don't feel like it. This person feels like it. And they're going to go into this pulp horror plot to see that out. And then further on with the Crows with Dark Lotus, which is a super group of all the different psychopathic people from the family era all together, telling the story of these crows visiting them, speaking to them, coming from the nether realm past the echo side to whisper their doom or whisper these messages to them while they're losing their minds. So Dark Lotus, more than any other psychopathic project, is died really deeply into the mythology storytelling, cult-ish side of the Juggalo Dark Carnival mythology. And it really, this song, it has the chorus is basically just a Juggalo prayer. It is the most mythological. It is the most steeped in that kind of ICP Juggalo music can be very pulp fiction, very Mars Attacks level of violence, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and this is the more darker end of it. But it's all there. So those two songs in particular, I was really The loons and the crows kept swapping back and forth. Like a Bird from Auntie Boy was number 4 just because it is called Like a Bird. It starts with bird songs. It was so on the nose that it deserved the number 4 spot, but the crows ended up winning out.
Dave, are you more of a Shaggy 2 Dope man or are you a Violent J man?
I'm glad you asked me that, Brian, because it's been on my mind. I think Violent J.
Well, there you go. Although
Violent J is the storyteller. Yeah, he's the story.
Exactly.
If ICP has the strength, it's Mikey Clark's production and it's Violent J's storytelling
You
ability.
took the words right out of Dave's mouth. I'll just let it end there. The Crows by Dark Lotus. Thank you very much for that, Kevin.
I can hear him whisper my name. I can feel him watch me every now and again. I watch him float along the clouds, hunt for blood stains. My soul's almost out, and he can only see the pain. Wings spread on the perch they sit, conversating with the devil on some who's next shit. I feel his spirits rise when the blackbirds fly. When it's time to die, only the crows know why.
12 o'clock on the dot, my blood runs cold. Pissing gaze through the window, got me in a chokehold. Into the death, pinnacle, sacrifice, and the ultimate price. I'm taking my own life. The yellow eyes in the sea right through me, talking to me. The beyond consumes me. The black road takes my thoughts and plants seeds. The black road plants his feet and overseas.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Usually Kevin in the past would choose like something arty or really kind of hoity-toity for his number 1, but he's going back down to the ground because he's down with the clown, and I appreciate that. Very cool. And not running
So I'm
away
dead
from
from
it.
the ground.
There you go. Maceo, have you ever listened to an ICP or Juggalo album? Have you ever listened to any one of them? He's too relaxed now.
Yeah, back in like the 90s.
Oh, okay. Well, you look very relaxed now. I don't need to ask why. By the way, I would take ICP all day over your number 5, Migos, with their song Birds. Your number 4, though, very strong. Clips featuring John Legend, Voices of Fire, The Birds Don't Sing. Your number 3, Officer, Bluebird. Your number 2, Wiz Khalifa, West Coast, Fly Solo. And your number 1, Gucci Mane, featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black, Wake Up in the Sky. Maceo, tell me about it.
Well, I keep it short and sweet. I go to just the last one. I really like that song, the imagery, you know. And when you play it in the club, the girls like it, the guys like it, you know. And it's all around. That song it's all around like positive. It has a positive message, you know. It's all about feeling good, looking good, you know, putting on, you know. It's good. It's good. I like it.
You're a big
It's a good, feel
Gucci
good
Mane
music.
guy?
Yeah, I like Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane's always good. And I'm not really a Kodak Black fan, but I always like everybody loves Gucci Mane. You know, he's from the hometown. I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from Columbia, but you know, next door. And Bruno Mars singing. Oh man, it's a very good song. It's all around good song.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Yeah, we'll take that. And I'm going to play that, your number 1 song, which is Gucci Mane featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black, Wake Up in the Sky, and then we're going to go to Mr. Michael Bush. Thank you for that, Maceo. I hope you're feeling relaxed and good, enjoying your CMC.
Oh yeah, I needed to get that massage, man. My back is messed up. Too much gong fu.
Too much, John.
Oh, you turned it off.
I drink till I'm drunk, smoke till I'm high, castle on the hill.
What are you annoying about? You know that?
Tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly. I know I'm super fly. The ladies love me. That's my day off.
fetching and they touching on me. Ooh, think it's vegetables. Ooh, think it's edible. Ooh, it's incredible. Ooh, I smell like bun number 99, section full of fine dimes. Bitches staring at me saying, wow. Unforgettable, like that King Cole. Gucci berry wine, I'm singing to you. A one-man show.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Maceo. Let's move it on to Michael Bush, sir. You're number 5, All Those Flashing Lights, Swan Song. You're number 4, choosing the original. I respect this, not the Michael Jackson cover. It's Bobby Day with Rockin' Robin. He's got a whole suite of songs following this song, which are all great. You're number 3, They Might Be Giants, Birdhouse in Your Soul. You're number 2, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Three Little Birds. And you're number 1, The Misfits, Where Eagles Dare. Tell me about it.
Okay, so like I picked, 5 bird songs. I tried to stay kind of true to the theme. My neurodivergence makes me kind of do that. I'm like, these are the rules with which I have to work within, and I tried to go abstract with it, but I couldn't. So I just kept coming back to that has to have a bird in it in the title. So then I was like, okay, so what I want to do is I want to go through like different eras. And so like these are like just different eras of music that I like. So this is kind of how I hear music, right? So start with my number 1. Absolutely, punk rock is my favorite style of music. Where Eagles Dare, that was the first thing I thought of when you said bird songs. I was like, Where Eagles Dare, like immediately, didn't have to think about it. So I knew that was going to be my number 1, and it's one of my favorite Misfits tunes. Number 2, Three Little Birds. I was in a ska band for a long time. Reggae is very important to me. So that is one of the ones that also immediately came to mind for bird songs. And then what was my number 3? Birdhouse in Your Soul. I've seen them twice. They formed like a lot of my early eclectic taste of music. They Might Be Giants. So I knew they had to go on there. I saw them play a tree live on stage one time. And that's a really cool band, so they had to be included in the list. Number 4, Rockin' Robin. That like was the song that got me in love with music when I was a child. Like to this day, it's still like my favorite song of all time. I just love that song. When I'm in a good mood, that's the song that plays in my head. When they talk about like ska music is the sound that a teenager hears when he gets like mozzarella sticks or whatever. Like Rockin' Robin is the sound that's in my head when I have a smile on my face and I'm just walking down the street. And then the last song is All Those Flashing Lights. That is from my hometown, a band that's releasing an album like this month. And this song is, I think, on that album. And it's just they're a really cool band. They're based on like UFOs and aliens and like it's just a really, really cool experience. So I want to play that song instead of my number 1 just because their album's coming out. And the cool thing about them that connects to birds is that I was never in a band with the guy that's in this band, but I was in a band with a guy that he was in a band with, and their band was called For the Birds.
Well, for the birds, for the critics, for everyone, here's Swan Song, All the Flashing Lights, and then we are going to get to radio. Thank you, Michael Bush.
And to tell you the truth, I wasn't doing too well. Oh. When you slipped your tongue and pierced the veil. Oh. So let the dead stay that way. Stop dragging out that corpse tonight. Let's put the dog to sleep, throwing daggers in the twilight.
All right, very cool. Radio. Suckers never play me.
DJ Bio. Hello, sir.
Your number 5, A Perfect Circle, Gravity, Gravity. Your number 4, Radiohead, a song that we heard last week as well for, what was it? Space Songs or whatever it was. Radiohead, Subterranean Homesick Alien. Your
Oh, I
number
didn't
3,
know.
Ikemono Gakari with Bluebird. Your number 2, the Swan Lake version by the National Philharmonic Orchestra. And your number 1, going back to Maynard, right, with Tool, 10,000 Days, Wings Part 2.
Yeah.
Heavy
Oh.
stuff from you, Radio.
Yeah, actually, like a lot of these things are just things that like I really liked when I was younger, and for some reason, when this theme came out, I was just like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna choose this time. So we start off with Perfect Circle's Gravity, my number 5 pick. I think the 13th Step by Perfect Circle is like a really almost perfect album. I think it's really, really great. I mean, it's up there with like an OK Computer, or I would even compare it to like Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, or something like that. I think it's really an excellent, excellent album, and Gravity is the final song on that album, so it's really cool. When I chose this list, I wasn't looking for specifically birds. It was more like flight, freedom, wings, something like this. I wasn't really like going too hard on the birds theme itself. So even for my next pick, the Subterranean Homesick Alien is not about birds at all. It's about like a UFO, picking a guy up and showing him around. So I just love the song. I think it's really cool. I love the sound effects of it, it's a song that I like a lot. We also have Bluebird. This brings me back to like being in middle school, because this is, of course, one of the openings for the Naruto anime. It's probably the most famous openings of Naruto that exists. People like know this song even without knowing Japanese. People sing the song, and I mean, when I was in
Why
middle
don't you
school.
sing a little bit for us right now if everybody sings it?
Oh no, I don't know. Well, you could play a second of it. Why don't you play like 35 seconds of it? You'll like once you hear the first 5 seconds, you'll be like, yeah. Anyway, for the next one, I chose the Swan Lake. So this is not actually the main theme of Swan Lake. This is actually the introduction song of Swan Lake. So basically, like the intro, the prelude before the start of the actual piece. But I think it's a very good encapsulation of the entire ballet. Like it really has like every theme from being whimsy to being power to being delicate to being like dark. And it's done within like a 2-minute time frame, and I think it's just super cool. Also, it makes a good scene for the opening of Black Swan. If you guys have ever seen Black Swan, it's the opening of that film as well, where she's doing the dance. An excellent use of the song itself, which is from the actual ballet. And then for my final pick was 10,000 Days, Wings Part 2. I don't know if you guys know about Maynard. He's very openly like not about religion. He really kind of like doesn't like religion stuff, and so actually his mom grew up very religious, and in the 80s she had a stroke, and she was confined to a wheelchair. So he would kind of like throughout like A Perfect Circle and Judith, which is the name of his mom, he specifically calls her out like, look what he did to you. You still pray to him. You're kind of dumb, for praying to God. And then in the early 2000s, his mom dies. So she actually spent 27 years in a wheelchair, which, if you do the math, is 10,000 days. So he wrote this album as kind of his grieving process for losing his mother. And this particular song is just like, hey, when you get to heaven, out of anybody, you deserve it the most. You better demand your wings, demand your halo, because you deserve it, So that's kind of what this song is about. And if you could play this one, if you start off at like 5:02, I think this is the best part of the song.
I will do that. You hummed for us. You did a little ballet. It was very beautiful, Radio. I appreciate it. And I'm going to play, 5:02. You mean like The song.
It's like
Okay.
8 minutes long. Yeah,
Okay,
so.
I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you, Radio. Here's Tool with 10,000 Days, and then we're gonna get to UN.
That's enough, Bo. You can move on. Yeah.
I'll play as much as goddamn fucking songs I want to fucking play. You're not the fucking boss here. UN, are you here with us? Last chance.
Oh man, I feel like she got cut off on her questions, and then now she doesn't get to do her songs.
What? I gave her a chance to ask the questions, and no, and then I don't stop. I'm done with you. And look, Dana, the Mongolian guy, I even brought my Mongolian records. He didn't make it. We'll give her a chance. I'll do my list really quick. I liked my idea at first for my list, and then I kind of chickened out, which is a bird. You get it? Like, I went hard with it, and then I feel like I could have done better because there's so many great songs. But anyway, I did all variations of Papa Oomau Mau, Mama Oomau Mau, The Bird's the Word. Probably the most famous is by the Trashmen, which is my number one, which is a garage rock cover from a surf rock band from Minnesota. You don't expect too much surfing in Minnesota, but there you go. It was originally done by the Rivingtons, a California band. Anyway, my number 5, the Rivingtons, The Bird's the Word. Number 4, the Rivingtons, Mama Oomau Mau. Number 3, Wade Curtis and the Rhythm Rockers with Putty Cat. Mama Meow Meow. He's kind of an outsider artist, a very, very strange individual. And he sang a version of the Bird's a Word where the cat eats the bird. It's very bizarre. Number 2, the Trashmen Bird Dance Beat. And number 1, the Trashmen, The Bird's the Word. Very on theme, but maybe I could have done better. But there you go. I'm just going to stick to it. Everyone knows this. They've heard it 1,000 times. Let's just hear a little bit of it.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, don't you know about the bird? Well, everybody knows that the bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird. The bird's a bird. Oh, well, oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird.
Hey, Bo, is this the Family Guy version?
The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird.
Maceo just interrupted that beautiful masterpiece of a song, and you want to know if I've heard the Family Guy version. I haven't, and I'm not running to it either. But I'm sure it's wonderful. If it makes you happy, that's great. We're closing out our critic list, it looks like. And oh wait, Yuan, you here with us?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
here.
we're gonna finish you. We're running, guys, a little late, but this is gonna be our last one. I found. Did you cut off? Did you have anything else you wanted to say? They're saying I was mean to you. Do you want to add anything?
Well, certainly, nice. I don't know how to say. Yeah.
Here's your list, and if you think of something you want to ask Eric really quickly or talk about your list, it's okay. Lots of Chinese songs, one classic Hong Kong song, John Lennon. You explained it to me before, but here it is. Hu Da Fu, Under the Bodhi Tree, your number 4, Angel version and Sophie's Garden. People with Dreams Don't Feel Sad. Your number
Yeah.
3, Ding Yu Xiong. Cheers to the Years. Cheers to Myself. Your number 2, a classic, legendary band in Hong Kong, Beyond, with
Yeah.
Amami. And your number 1, produced by Phil Spector. It's John Lennon with Imagine. Tell me about your list real quick.
Just after I started the album, something like inspiration from my heart and very literally and appear the 5 songs from 5 to 1.
Cool. Where did you first hear Imagine?
Imagine.
When did you first hear that song?
You mean when feel about this song? Imagine.
Why do you like this song so much? Where did you first hear
Because
the song?
I was a dreamer. Before I was a dreamer, like I was dreaming many things, like the song about any single movement. I've done so many things, but I lost so many dreams. So this song makes me, yeah.
Fantastic. You say you're a dreamer, but you're not the only one, Yuan. Let's listen to John Lennon, Imagine, and we're going to close it off. Thank you very much.
You too.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too.
Got that crisp drum sound with the piano. Fantastic stuff. Thank you guys, everyone. Great critic lists. Oh. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just 1 minute here. Hey, next week we are discussing 2 Prince albums. Kevin Salveson, who's a local musician based here, is going to argue that this album, Sign of the Times, behind me, is not as good as 1999. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I don't know. And we're discussing Purple songs. Hey, if you can spread the word about the CMC, tell your friends, your enemies, your neighbors, send them the posters, send them the YouTube video from this. I really appreciate it. For the people in China, I'll put up my WeChat code if you can donate. That's great. If you can't, don't worry about it. If there's artists you want to see highlighted here, please connect me with them. I'd love to keep covering people. That'd be fantastic. And once again, thank you very much to Eric Allen and China's own Phil Spector, Brad Seippel. And that's really it. Thank you to all our critics. As they say in Mongolia, Dara Otsi. The end. Boo!